In this video, we will tell you the untold stories of Blondie's star artist Debbie Harry, while showing you some of her rare photos. Debbie, in recent interviews, has exposed deep scars from her childhood and how none of her parents wanted her after her birth. It was almost as if she was the reason for their separation. Debbie's parents were once madly in love with each other, and after Debbie's birth, a lot of secrets about their relationship came to the surface. Turned out Debbie's father had a secret family where he had 4 kids, and he was not ready for a child from his mistress. This, of course, strained their relationship, and they eventually broke up. And everyone, father, mother, and daughter, went their separate ways. Her father continued with his marriage, and her mother, who was later revealed to be a concert pianist, went her way, while 3-month-old Debbie was left in an orphanage. Debbie was adopted by the Harrys, and it was not until she was 4 years old that she would be told the true story of her origin. Debbie's first reaction was to never forgive her biological parents, but later in life, she would try to locate her mother. Harry would discover that her real name was Angela Trimble. After high school, young Debbie decided to move to New York City in pursuit of greener pastures, and her first employment was as a secretary at BBC Radio. She was sacked after her first year, and her next job was as a waitress at Max's Kansas City. When Harry's waitress job failed her, she traveled to New Jersey to become a Playboy bunny. Unlike many Playboy bunnies who have and continue to attack the controversial Playboy Club, Debbie Harry was grateful for it. According to her, they were treated with so much respect, and she saw it as a means to an end. "Well, I like to dress up, so it really didn't bother me," Harry said. "I probably did much crazier or funnier things to myself over the years." After 8 months in the Playboy house, Debbie sent in her resignation letter. She had discovered what she believed was her life's path, but that journey would continually serve her surprises and pain. Harry sang at the choir of her local church as a child, and it was there that she learned enough about music to fall in love with it. When her bunny days were over, Harry began her musical career as a backing singer for the folk rock group The Wind in the Willows. The group recorded just 1 album before they disbanded. In 1973, Debbie made the move that would define her life when she joined the Stilettos. Things were great at her new band, but it got even better when the band brought in a dashing guitarist, Chris Stein. Debbie and Chris rushed into a steamy romance, and their first decision as a couple was to leave Stilettos and create their own band. So they left, and they recruited a drummer named Clem Burke and a bassist, Gary Valentine. Originally known as the Angel and Snake, the band would change their name to Blondie, a name they got from the men who catcalled Debbie after she dyed her hair blonde. It might interest you to know that she was a natural red hair. Blondie was going to be an international sensation, but their breakthrough came almost as an accident. A local video show in Australia played a video from their album, and just like that, after a few months, the entire country had their songs on their lips. Their album ranked at number 14 in Australia and 75 in the United Kingdom. Their second album was an improvement, but it was not enough. However, their third album, Parallel Lines, was just what they needed to conquer and dominate the international music market. It featured their song, Heart of Glass, which made number 1 in the US and sold over 2 million copies. Their success wave continued with each album release, and their 5th studio album, Auto American, featured hits like The Tide is High and Rapture, which became the first rap song to chart at number 1 in the United States. Everyone was shocked by the news of their disbandment at the peak of their fame, but as Debbie would reveal many years later, what came for them was much bigger than they could handle. Although they would later reunite in the 90s, unfortunately they couldn't regain their lost glory, and their spot in the industry had been occupied. Blondie was to go down in a very tragic way, and it was going to take Debbie's treasured relationship with it. A lot of people believe that, like most bands, Blondie ended because of casualties that exist when bands find massive success, but this was not the case. Beyond their individual drug addiction struggles, Chris Stein was down with a life-threatening disease. It was not discovered until things got really bad. Doctors couldn't explain it. All they could say was that his high dependence on drugs caused it. Things were going to move from bad to worse after the band released their 1982 album, The Hunter, and they needed to go on a tour. Chris, of course, was in no condition for this, but he insisted. He even took more performance drugs, and this nearly cost him his life. They had to call the entire show off after he collapsed so many times, and Debbie reported that he struggled to eat and was so very lean. That same year, Blondie was disbanded, but Debbie stayed with her dying love. With much in-depth diagnosis, doctors discovered the cause of Chris's illness, and with the right medications, miraculously, he made a turnaround. But things were never going to be the same between him and Debbie. Debbie Harry never tied the knot, not even once, and she also has no biological child. Today, Debbie lives in her mansion in New Jersey with her 4 dogs. However, the closest she ever got to happily ever after was in what she shared with Chris Stein. A lot of people find it interesting that the couple broke up after Debbie nursed Chris back to health. That was from the outside. A closer peep into their romance would answer the question of their mysterious separation. According to Harry, she and Stein were heavy drug users during the time of their relationship, and after Chris got better, he saw separation from Debbie as the only way he could save her from himself. While they still maintained a friendship, the couple called everything off in 1987. They were together for 16 years. Still, 74-year-old Debbie doesn't think her love chapter is fully closed yet. According to her, she is looking for ways to spice up her love life, and the way she plans to do that is by having affairs with married men. "I'm looking for something really chemical," Debbie confessed. "There are less men around. They are all married with children. There's more extramarital relationships, and maybe that's the right way." Debbie also revealed in her 2019 memoir that in the past, she has had relationships with women. In 2014, she publicly identified as a queer, but in recent interviews, she said that her bisexual days have gone by. The Heart of Glass singer also said that she has always had this strong desire to become the man she wanted, and she attributes her masculine drive to being a major reason for her success in the industry. Not many people know this, but one time, Debbie was abducted by someone she believed was one of the top serial killers of her time, Ted Bundy. She had just finished an evening performance and was trying to get a taxi home when it happened. A polite driver showed up asking to give her a ride. She refused at first, but as he persisted, she bought in. In the end, Debbie discovered that the vehicle was stripped and the passenger door handle was missing. She escaped by slipping her hand through an open window and opening the door from the outside. Debbie revealed that memories from this night haunted her for 15 years. Aside from that, a bad financial decision had Debbie broken and desperate at what might have even passed as the height of her success in the music industry. After Blondie's split, Debbie revealed that the tax department came for everything she had: her cars, house, money, and even her coat. She was heartbroken as she had worked for 7 years straight with no holidays. But Harry fought back by dabbling in the acting industry while she pushed for even greater heights in her solo career. Debbie was able to make a turnaround with her post-Blondie hits like Comic Books, Bright Side, I Can See Clearly, and 2x Hit. Today, Debbie Harry's net worth is estimated to be somewhere around $30 million. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check the end screen for other interesting videos of beautiful women from the yesteryears.